you're guaranteed a crappie. The spot can shut down sometimes, like after the early morning. Like once the sun gets a little more into the sky, they'll shut down. And sometimes through the middle of the day, they'll shut down. But at sunset, see, that was a big one. At sunset, they'll turn on, which it is right now. They'll turn back on. And at early morning, they'll be biting a lot too. And sometimes they'll have their little bite windows through the middle of the day. And those are almost impossible to catch. Like the little windows, those are hard to be on time to. You can't really time them either, because it's not like they're chasing anything in specific. They have no real bite time, but there's sometimes when they just don't feel like eating. Jeez, why do I keep on missing that same fish? It's the same fish. I think I've got a little cold. I had a sore throat. It kind of went away. And now my nose is running. That sucks. But I'm catching fish. Got him. That's no. Is it? And spawn if they're males. But most 2-pound females and stuff aren't old enough to spawn. Oh, he choked it. Ow. We have so many little pokes like yesterday on my hand because of the spine on these fish. Like they have spines on their bottom. They have spines on their top. Got them. Like you really can't escape getting poked by these things. And it's not fun either. Eenie. But in the north, where I am, in the northern region of the United States, not fully north, but like, I'm in the Midwest. That's all I can say. I'm actually trying to gatekeep. I'm in the Northwest. I mean, Midwest. I can't talk anymore. I'm in the Midwest. In the Midwest right now, most of the Midwest is early spring to just spring. Like middle of spring or early spring. I'm pretty sure this place is transitioning to middle of spring because it was just 77 degrees outside today. That's why over here, I think I could show you guys. Over here, there's a fish right there, up shallow. The other ones might be in the shade though. There was a crappie there. There was a crappie on this mark. You see that empty mark? That is a bed. Oh, he almost just stole my Spro. In this lake, there's a lot of green sunfish, so the fish are especially aggressive. All the other species. In green sunfish lakes, the fish get very aggressive to compete with them. That's what I've noticed. Got him. I think that's a green sunfish, yeah. There was another crappie right there when I caught it. Spooked him out from this patch. This little grass mat. What do I say about green sunfish lakes? They are aggressive. They're like little bass. I don't eat them because I'm afraid of what they taste like. I need to keep a few bass, like one, sometime. Not today, because I already had a fish fry yesterday. We cooked up a 7-pound channel, a 5-6-pound channel, and a bunch of crappie. It was so very good. Sadly, almost all of it went to my papa, but I did get my fair share, so that wasn't bad. See, I'm right here, and I haven't caught as many fish as quick as the other spot. And this is in the same lake. Like, the spot exactly where it is really matters. And as soon as I get close to the spot, I get bit. But there's no insane reason to why they're all right here. And they're like genetic code or anything. Like, I swear, as soon as spawning ends, they'll be back to chasing small bait fish, like baby shad, after the shad spawn too, which those fish are also doing that. This is a threadfin and gizzard shad lake, so there's giant bass, giant crappie, giant catfish, all that stuff. But you'll see the shad jumping out of the water at times, trying to get away from those younger bass that are trying to feed up so they can spawn next spring. But see, as soon as I get over here, watch, it's almost instant. Got one. You can't make this up. The spot really gets like down deep. The only reason why I think there's so many fish right there is because right here is where I've been catching them. Then right here, right behind that, and under this dock, there's definitely a bunch. Right over here, I hope you guys can see them. In that little sunlight part, you can see there is a ton of minnows and baby bluegill. That's why I've been catching most of my small ones over there, because the small ones over there are waiting for these little bait fish and little baby fish to swim from their little grass mat into the deeper water so they can ambush them. Yuck. I was just on a spider nest. That sucks. Hope he's not on me. So when I fish, sometimes when I fish right there, right in front of the grass mat, there's a crappie or two. But then as soon as I come on this side, but I've got a box of everything. Like, I could throw all of this and get a crappie. But I'm using specific ones. If I can find a pack. Here. These Spro twin tail minnows. I got the cinnamon mint one, but they got other colors. I should have picked a white one because that would look more like a shad or minnow. But this is the one I got. It works amazing. It works perfectly fine. It works incredibly. What I like about the technology they put into this bait is that it's scented. So it's got this scent. You can really actually smell it. And it's got these tickle tails and this little hole in the back to disperse. I can't talk no more. To disperse more scent. So really, when you drop this thing down there, this is cheat cut. And it's 2.75 inches, so it's a pretty big bait. See, that was instant. It's a pretty big bait for crappie, but that's it hanging out that fish's mouth. She was pregnant, but small. And this bait weighs a little bit more. So if you're using a light jig head, you can really throw this thing on there and you'll still get to the depth you want. But I love baits with tickle tails. Like, I will waste a whole bag of flukes just to have the tails to use for panfish or small bass. Like, the back of a Zoom fluke is an amazing little bait. Got another one. It really just matters your spot. Like, anywhere else, I would not be catching fish right now. Or crappie, at least. But also, at the same time, in the spring, crappie just bite overall better. Here, where I am, is pre-spawn, or mid-spring, early spring. So early spring, these crappie, they get full of eggs. They are eating non-stop, and they're aggressive. So if you're not fishing early spring, you've got a problem when it comes to crappie. And they're way up shallower, so you can fish all these docks and stuff, and you'll have a higher chance of catching crappie. But the Spro Twintail is way more durable than any of the bait in my box, because I don't have the Z-Man right now. I'm really trying to weed through all these little ones right now so I can get to a bigger one. I've been out here since 9 o'clock, and it's about 5 or 4 o'clock. Oh dang, I missed him. My problem with me is that I can't time a bite for my life. But what these crappie are doing, I'm so confused. What these crappie are doing is they're up shallow. Pre-spawn crappie are up shallow. They're feeding on minnows around structure. So like little brush piles like that will hold minnows. So those crappie will stay on the outside of them or on docks to ambush them. You will not see crappie in the spring actively chasing bait fish. Like in the early spring when they're full of eggs, you will not see them actively chasing bait fish. They'll chase food, minnows that are near them. They'll try and ambush them, but they will not actively chase small schools of shad and stuff. So really the times of year in your lake when all the shad are small is when you should be fishing shallower for crappie. I mean, if your lake has smaller shad, you need to be fishing out in the middle. I hate doing that. That's why spring is one of my favorite times of year, because all the fish are pushed up shallow, including catfish. Largemouth, it depends on the largemouth size, and it depends on if they're male or female. If they're above the 2-pound range and it's springtime, they are almost definitely getting ready to spawn or are spawning. If they're under 2 pounds or over like 12, you cannot predict what those bass are doing. And that's just a fact to me. The biggest bass are some of the most unpredictable fish, in the lake. And the fish under at pound and a half or 2 are very unpredictable too. But most of the time you'll see bass in the spring under 2 pounds feeding up, because that's the only thing they can do. Well, some 2-pounders can. Love this Daiwa. And my Lew's rods and reels are unstoppable. But this Daiwa, this is my first time using a Daiwa, and it feels pretty good. It's been lasting me forever. I bought it in the winter, and I've caught now nice. It's handled everything from 7-pound catfish. I mean, from little crappie like these to 7-pound catfish. And my Lew's, don't even get me started on my Lew's. My Lew's rod and reels have caught so many fish. Almost all of my fish. And my biggest ones come on the Lew's. But this is a little 6'2" medium light, fast shock. This reel for the price is insane. This rod feels like a $200 rod, and it's a 2-piece, so it fits for me everywhere I go. And you see it's handling these fish like crazy. And this is 6-pound mono. All you need for crappie. Don't go higher, don't go less. For going less, I caught a 1.5-pound crappie today, forcing it in. £6 is the max breaking strength. That's the strength it's supposed to break at. So you don't need 4-pound line for crappie, because that's too light. You can't even get a hook set on a fish. You're just gonna miss all your fish. And then if you hook set too hard, you're gonna break them off, or after a lot of use, it's gonna end up wearing down. 8-pound, 10-pound, everything up. It's just way too heavy for fish usually under 2 pounds. Almost always under 1 pound. Oh my gosh, the spot's on fire again. The spot's been sucking all day, but now it's got back good. Just caught a 6.5-pound bass on a crappie. That kind of sucks. It only sucks because I didn't catch an old lure. But yeah, 6.5-pound bass on a live crappie. New PB though, so that's always nice. I'm just pulling these fish out the woodworks. Everyone thinks it's your bait. Oh, it's your bait. Oh, it's your line. The line does matter. Your bait doesn't. The biggest factor is your location and your time of year. Number one is location. If you've got a spot that's just filled to the brim with crappie, you can catch them on anything. Like, I could throw on literally anything. Alright, now I'm using what looks good to me. The end of a Rapala freeloader. So it's got that little tickle tail. This thing's insane. And then a little shad dart. That's all you need. Anything will work. A ball jig head, a scoping style jig head. Look, I caught one like a minute ago. Less than a minute ago. A minute's long for this spot. But as long as you have a light as you can go jig head to keep you at the depth you want, so every time you pop it up, it won't come flying up. But not having a not having a jig head so heavy to where you're falling too fast and all of that, and you can't keep in the strike zone. Just get a lighter jig head of any kind, as long as they have good hooks on them, any kind. But crappie shouldn't be bending out your hooks anyway. And then a Z-Man style bait would work way better, because crappie, if you're in a good spot, you're just gonna keep catching him. But then if you're not using like an Elastomor or a stretchy style soft plastic that just keeps ripping on you, then that's gonna be a hassle and a waste of money. So like a Z-Man jig head, like 1/32, 1/64 ounce, that's an all-around good one. And then a Z-Man, can't speak no more. The Z-Man lure is also really good to match to that. But I could catch these fish on worms, I could catch them on minnows. Everyone says you need minnows to catch big and lots of crappie. You don't. It really just matters your spot. Minnows if your crappie are finicky, and also minnows if your crappie are huge. Because the bigger the crappie, the less it gets fooled by these baits. I'm finna change baits. The less it gets fooled by these baits. The smaller crappie, the more unknown it is to these baits. 2 giant bluegills. I put on a double rig, both worms. You drop worms down deep, small hooks, you get some giant bluegill. Another 2 for 1. Not the biggest crappie of the day, but another giant. Camera does this thing no justice. Like, look at my hand. My hand is half of this fish. I'm gonna get a measurement. "13 inches. 1-3. I caught a 15 earlier with a belly twice the size. It's a video too.
Oh, cool.
PB Bass, 630. I'll show it on the scale thing too. 656. Caught at 532 the other day. This thing is huge. Ate my crappie off the dock. PB Bass. I gotta get her back in the water. I'm gonna measure it first.